How's it going out there in the interwebs world? I've got some Aussie oak. That's what I was doing yesterday, trying to do that captured ring into the in the top of the bowl. Didn't work, but it was the wood I used, so user error. um, I'm gonna leave the grind, the notch that's in it. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm just gonna finish it up a little bit, clean it up. I'm considering doing some burning, so maybe not. How you going, Jeff?
Hello there, guys.
Just me.
Oh, just you. You're still working on it, huh?
Oh yeah, I left it yesterday because the glue was getting to me too much.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to mess with that stuff. That's nasty.
Yeah. No, I was a bit raspy on the chest and throat for a couple of hours after that, so I thought I should maybe just...
Yeah, I meant you inhaled way too much.
Yes, most probably. In my, as Robbo puts it, in my spray booth of a shed. So I'm just going to clean up inside here a bit.
Okay.
I got a burning tool, so I may do some burning today, or I may not.
Okay.
I've just been messing around with that. Oops, hard to see with that bloody light. Just that pattern down there.
Oh yeah. Yep. Cool.
I might not. I don't know. I've got a couple of...
Well, I'm on for about an hour and a half tonight.
Oh yeah, cool. How's your day been?
Oh, it's been a good day. I spent some time in the shop. I got the spindle turned and the sandpaper installed on it for my drum sander.
Oh yeah.
So I expect in the next couple of days I'll have the drum sander finished and trying it out.
Sounds good.
And then I got one of the members of our club has got a CNC. She's been making Longworth chucks and steady rest, and she gave me one today. This is
nice.
it. Yeah, nicely engineered.
Hang on, I'll put you on full screen.
You can even what's that?
I'll put you on full screen.
You can even undo one of these and open the thing up. So you can put a piece on without removing it. It's really nicely engineered. So
I need one made for a mini lathe. No?
Yeah. I was working on one, but having a lot of problems with it. And I was overthinking it is what I was doing. But she got a CNC and started playing around with that stuff. And the first thing she said, she made a Longworth chuck, and I says, I'll take one. and it works wonderfully. So she's going to be offering them to club members. And then we've got a big swap meet coming up on the 24th. She's going to have them there.
Yeah.
I said, you got a nice little side hustle going here. You can sell these to woodworkers all over the place.
Yes. I'm getting another lathe, so there's not much point in me buying anything, any small stuff for this little baby.
Yeah. What are you looking at?
I'm getting one given to me.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. How you going, Effie? I've just got to pick it up from Robbo's house.
Okay.
It's 75 years old.
Oh, wow.
So it's a beast. It was designed and made to be a production turner.
Okay.
So it's a 1 horsepower motor. It's drive belt, but it's getting because it's 3-phase. It's getting converted to a single phase, but it's getting a variable speed put on it.
Okay. Well, if it's converted to variable speed, then an inverter will take care of the conversion from 3-phase to single. Yeah. Those old Lace, man, they had a lot of weight in them.
Yeah. Well, it's about 200 or 300 kilos or something. So.
Okay.
And it fully comes apart. Everything comes off it can be a bare bed and legs dangling sitting on the ground.
Nice.
So, yeah.
The Woodcraft near me, quite a few years ago, they had a used Powermatic that was made in the 60s. And it's just one big solid cast iron beast. There's no taking it apart either.
Oh,
And they were selling it for a guy, and they were having trouble selling it because people are trying to figure out just how they're going to get it into their shops and stuff. 'Cause it's literally the only way they got it in and out of Woodcraft was with a forklift.
yeah.
It was 980 pounds.
Wow.
I said, man, you can really have something out of balance on that baby.
Well, this one's got a 830 mil long, I think it is.
Wow.
With everything taken off the bed, it's 5 foot long.
Mm-hmm.
And my new shed that I'm getting is 3 meters, so it should fit in there just nicely.
Nice.
You can hear me over the bloody chopper.
Yeah, I can hear the truck.
It's a chopper.
Oh, it's a chopper. Okay.
Yeah, they got a helicopter training facility at the local airport that's about less than a kilometre away from me.
Ah, okay.
It's a regular chopper. What do you call it? Flight path.
Mm-hmm.
How you going, Chris?
Last year when we were in Hawaii, the family we were staying with lives 1 mile from a helicopter tour facility where they take people around the island and stuff. And we just heard helicopters all day long and into the night.
Yeah. It's I don't mind it, but
you tend to get used to it.
Yeah, I do, but I like to mute it when Robbo and Dr. Bob are in here because it's a bit flashbacky,
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. That's why I have it on mute a lot, because on the days where they're constantly flying over,
Yeah.
All right, so let's have a go at this and. Oh, don't yawn there. Don't yawn yet. I haven't started.
I've been doing this all day long, man. Yeah, don't take offense to it. I'm a chronic yawner, man.
No. There's only one thing bad about yawns. They're very catching.
Oh, they are. They're horrible. I used to do that at work. I'd start yawning. Everybody start yelling at me because they're all yawning now.
Yeah. No, you'll only get me yelling at you for yawning if you do it in the car. Don't ever make the driver yawn.
No, you don't need that.
So, what's on the agenda for the next meeting?
The next meeting is we have John Jordan, our pro demo.
Oh, that's right. I remember you saying yesterday. That's right.
Yeah, he's doing a talk on the aesthetics of wood, which is an excellent demo that he's done before. I've seen it, and if you come out of there not understanding wood, then you're just a total idiot. He is that good, and so we got that, and and the usual stuff, the Facebook challenge, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Tool review. So I'm going to have my Steady Rest as a tool review.
Oh, yeah.
And I should have a couple things for show and tell. Now that I got the Steady Race, I expect to get my vase done that I was cutting out of birch.
Yeah. What about having a little video for your demo to show how it works, how good it works?
Yeah, I'll probably put some on Facebook once I get it going. I've got to make an adaptation. The piece that goes down into the bedways.
Yeah.
This piece right here.
Yeah.
It's like a 1/4 inch too narrow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put an 1/8 inch piece of wood on each side, glue it in, and then just sand it till it fits down snugly.
Yep. Oh, a little bit of modification.
Yep. Yep.
See how much I can not sand. I've got a bad habit of sanding the wrong spots.
Oh, don't want to do that.
All these messages coming in as I'm doing my live. It's like, go away. It's just said. 4-2s, I win. What? What are you on about, Sid? Oh, that's. I'm still getting glue in my eye.
Oh, really?
My eyes just started watering again. It's like, and then because I could smell his glue, it's like, are you
Oh,
seriously?
it must be heating up from the sanding.
Yeah.
And, it won't liquidize again, but it will vaporize.
Oh, straight into my eyeball.
You might want to take like a parting tool or a bidan if you've got that and just do a very light scraping to get some of that off.
Yep. How you going, Copper Owl? What's your real name? Oh, hang on. This would help.
Just a little bit.
Shh. Don't tell Robbo.
Your secret's safe with me.
He'll watch it back later anyway. Oh, look out, here's trouble. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hello there.
How are we all?
How you doing?
Someone for you to talk to now, Jeff.
Who's in? G'day, Jeff. G'day, Copper Owl. I think that's Dave, isn't it? I'm not sure. Sid,
I got no idea.
Effie, and Chris, is it?
Yeah, I asked his name, but haven't got a reply yet.
Oh, yeah. Rob.
Rob, there you go. Well, sorry for Robbo. Sorry for Robbo insulting you, calling you Dave.
That's all right.
That's an easy one for you to remember then, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you
Should
forget
be.
that, you're wrong. So what's been going on?
Busy packing.
Oh, we lost him.
Hello?
There he is.
Busy packing what?
I'm packing up stuff to take away with me
Oh, yeah.
because today's the last day I'll be on for a week.
Yeah.
Probably. And what were you waiting to see me about, Effie? What have I done wrong now?
What have you done right?
Well, that's true. Oh, you can go and sit in the corner, Chris. Don't want to know about it. Oh, thank you, darling.
I'll get a room. Bloody hell, mate. Get all your jobs done, did you?
Yep. Yeah, all finished. Yeah, I have that effect, Effie. She says it scares all her nightmares away.
How you going,
And
Dave?
there's Dave, yeah. I was, just I was preempting.
I thought I'd say that for you.
I was preempting him coming in, see?
Yeah. It's what I wanted to tell you. Shit.
Oh, at least you're doing some real turning later on, Chris. That's most important.
Oh, whatever. What, pen turning, did you say?
No, he's making a walking stick. Like I convince you to make one with a scooter the one day, Chris.
Make it a challenge, Robbo.
Serious question, Chris. Do you have to make the walking sticks in two halves because of the length of your lathe or not? Oh, yeah. I knew what you meant. So what you virtually drill a hole in one end and put a tenon on the other and glue them together.
So what places do you visit when you're out and about, Robbo?
Sorry?
What places do you and your wife like to visit when you're out and about?
Oh, we like looking at museums and old homesteads and just general touristy stuff.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I love old buildings.
I love old buildings.
I always try to, these old buildings that have the big clock towers, I always try to get a way to get up in the clock towers to see on the inside, see the mechanisms and stuff like that.
Yeah, unfortunately with occupational health and safety these days, they've generally got them barred off. You're not allowed up.
Yeah, yep.
We don't have many buildings out here with clock towers in them, but we do have occasionally ones with like a tower sort of thing on the end of them to where they could keep an eye out for Aboriginals attacking the place, I suppose.
Oh. We have a lot of old buildings with clock towers, especially in Michigan here.
Oh,
Just buildings that were built in the 1800s. Some that were built in the 1700s, late 1700s even. And when I was younger, I used to like to go, I always got permission. I always went in and talked with people and everything, and only had a few that they wouldn't let me go up into them. But, in almost all cases, I had to be supervised, and that was fine.
yeah.
But I just love the old clock mechanisms. It's amazing when you look at those and think that they're all handmade, every single part on them.
Thanks, Chris. I'll have a look in a second. Look, the way they did some things, like I like looking at old mills and things, the way they worked them out,
Yep.
because they only had wood to work with.
Yeah. Well, it's classic. You look at the old stuff like that. It's a classic example of ingenuity.
Oh, that's right.
They had to figure out how to make it work. And I just got a hold of some wood. About mid last year from a mausoleum in a cemetery by us. This mausoleum was built in 1826. And this wood is from that original ceiling. They took it all out and they would put a new roof on. And the lady who was ahead of the project was shocked. I told her that, this wood was all milled on the spot. These trees came from where this cemetery was built. And they milled them down then and they put them in place green.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was adaptation and improvisation in a lot of cases for the material I had on hand.
Yeah. And she was amazed by the nails. And I said, well, the nails, that was a portable blacksmith. He traveled from town to town and job to job. He had a portable forge, and he actually made the nails right there on spot and whatever other tools they needed.
Yeah.
So she was just blown away by that.
old square nails.
Yep. And some of them were just as strong as the day they went in.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Either that or they drill offset holes in and drive a peg into them.
Yeah.
So as the top pull the joints tight. Like there was a good show on TV a while ago about building a big oak thing from England. And they went right back to the traditional way of doing it. And geez, it was interesting the way and it was all green. They were milling the timber on site.
Yeah.
And it was going up green. And the way they worked out the shrinkage rates and everything and just pulled it all together with big pegs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, We have a lot of Amish here in this country, especially in Pennsylvania, and the barns that they raise are all
Yeah.
built that way. They're milled on
Yeah.
site. They're put together by Peg. It's just absolutely amazing. And there's a group in I think Pennsylvania has a lot of weird names for their villages. Spider Monkey, Pennsylvania is the name of it. And there's a group of Amish there that got very industrious, and they actually run classes on how to raise barn. So you pay $250 to go there for a week, and you work 12 hours a day raising a barn. You pay to raise this barn, but you learn from it.
Well, we have a different one out here.
Mm-hmm.
The big cattle stations up north occasionally have every 12 months they have a muster, right? They bring all the scrubbers and everything in to be branded and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And people actually pay to have a holiday there to join the muster. And I can think of nothing worse. It's the most bloody dusty, dirty, rotten job in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people pay a fortune to go and do it.
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you what, if I was in my 30s, I would probably do one of these barn raisings with the Amish just for the experience. And they feed you really well, too. I mean, you don't eat any better than that.
And Chris says they are good at making money, the Amish. You got to look at that.
And plus, now, as long as they're conducting business, they can use things like this.
Yeah,
they're allowed to now.
Oh, right. Their religion's changed a little bit then.
A little bit. Now, when they shut down for the day, everything has to be locked up in their business. They can't take it with them.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a surprising thing to see. I saw that in a show recently where they're talking about how the Amish have changed. But I remember in the 80s when I was traveling to Pennsylvania a lot for my job, there was a big battle going on in court because the state required the Amish to put that triangle, that orange triangle on the back of their buggies.
Yeah.
And that was a violation of their religion because it was bright in color. And they actually lost. The state finally ruled that they had to have those on, and they're going to have to find a way for their God to forgive them.
Yeah.
So you go down there now, you'll see all these Amish buggies with the orange reflectors on the back of them. But great people.
There was a documentary on them a few years ago, made in America, of course, that was out here, and they were actually dying out to a certain extent because there weren't enough breeding going on and this and that, and people were actually leaving the religion to join the modern world, So
they have this thing when a child turns 18, they can take a year off and go out in the real world and see.
That's right.
If they liked it, and if they liked it, they could stay. And a lot of them are not coming back.
Well, they covered that in it, and it was very interesting. With some of them that they felt absolutely petrified in a lot of ways with the modern world,
Yeah. Well, it's like I remember seeing a special on it too, and it might have been the same special, but like for some of them, their first trip outside of their home village, they went to places like New York, which is terrifying for a person like me, much less somebody like them. I'm not a New York fan. I used to go to Manhattan for my job, and I got to a point where I went to the boss, said, I'm not going back. Yeah. I said, you can send one of the rookies, one of the new guys, but I'm not going back. He says, you don't have a choice. I said, yes, I do. I said, if you send me back, I quit. So he never sent me back. But
I think it's like all things, though. You get well, there are two sorts of people in this world, in my opinion, and it applies to everything. They either adapt to the environment or they adapt the environment to suit themselves. So, and it's up to you. Like, I lived in the middle of Melbourne for 6 months, and except for the fact that I had to travel 60K to go to my workshop, I actually didn't mind living there because everything was close at hand. I could walk out the door and virtually walk into a 7-Eleven store across the road or whatever and get a chocolate bar or something at 2 o'clock in the morning whenever I needed one.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, I was born and lived in Detroit. I was in Detroit for the riots in '68. I was a kid riding my bike, and I rode my bike down to the riots because I thought it was cool that we had the army in the street. I didn't know it was the National Guard, but they're in the street. There's tanks all over the place and everything. And I just thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And the police would grab me and throw my bike in the trunk and take me home. And they dropped me off, and my mom would yell at me, and I'd jump on my bike and rode back. And I loved it. I still love going down in Detroit. My wife and I go down there for dinner and stuff and entertainment and stuff. But my parents got divorced when I was 7, and so I ended up moving in with my grandparents. And then a few years later, my grandfather retired. We moved out to a farming community, and that's where I spent most of my youth, was in the farming community until I finally went out on my own in my 20s. And I still never went back to a big city. I just always kind of stayed rural. So I had a few years ago that I went and spent a weekend with a friend in downtown Detroit. He had a loft apartment down there. And I'll tell you what, I couldn't sleep for all the damn noise.
Well, that's the same when we moved here. Like, we live right on a major highway. Basically, it's only 100 feet off my back door here, and it took me about 3 months, I suppose, to get used to it. These days, I don't notice it unless it suddenly stops.
How you going, Wayne?
Yeah.
Gonna find my gut.
Of course, it's handy being deaf. I just take my hearing aid out and I don't hear anything anyway. So
yeah. Well, we had a thing in the early 2000s. We had a big power failure here that took out a big part of the Midwest and the northern eastern coast. And we were down for about 48 hours. And I never noticed it before, but, our house was right in the flight path for Detroit Metro Airport. And when the power was gone, there was no flights. And it was just spooky quiet. I mean, it was hard to sleep. It was so quiet.
Yeah, even when you think it's quiet, it's amazing how much noise there is that you don't notice until the power goes off.
Yeah.
And then it's absolute silence, which is rather cool, I reckon.
Yeah. That was a cool 48 hours, though, because the neighbors were coming out in the street talking to each other, which that never happened before. So we were meeting some neighbors that we'd lived there for 10 years and never met them. So.
I haven't quite got that bad in Australia yet. I think I know most of my neighbours around me anyway.
I do here. We live in a neighborhood where everybody looks out for each other.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, Chris, I'd look at that photo. That's pretty cool, man. Probably a bit ornate for a walking stick, but no, good practice, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And how are you, Wayne? Kicking back on a Sunday? Geez, it's early in the morning, I think, for you, isn't it? Yeah, what are you doing up at this time of the day?
Isn't it Saturday for them?
Yeah, but no, it's 2:35 today. AM. And 9:36 for Jeff at night yesterday.
Have you guys seen Dark lately?
Haven't seen him on here, but he's been on some of the English channels.
Oh, okay. I wrote to him finally, and I haven't heard back from him.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
I have no idea, to be quite honest. He did tell us once, I think.
Oh, I asked him in the email. Yeah.
Maybe that's why I didn't reply.
Maybe that's why he didn't. Maybe he doesn't know.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like me. I've been known as Robbo for 6. Well, I was young Robbie while Dad was still alive,
Uh-huh.
and then I became Robbo about 40 odd years ago, or 50 years ago. And it's funny, my wife and my mother are basically the only two people that ever call me by my correct Christian name. And Julie will be talking to people, and she's talking about this Ian character, and nobody knows who she's talking about.
It's good to have a secret identity.
I think for a while some people didn't even realise that she was married to me. You know? He was on Ed Oliver this morning. I know that because I just had a quick look there when I got up before I started doing stuff. Chris said he had a row with someone and won't give out his name anymore. The good old internet. There's a link in there, Wayne, if you want to join us for live, if you like.
So are you going to be joining us on Sunday, Robbo? Next Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, as far as I'm thinking so at the moment, anyway.
Okay. I expect to have a couple things for show and tell by then.
Won't you still be on holiday, Robbo?
No, I get back on Saturday our time. Saturday afternoon. Oh, that's the plan at the moment. If I don't, I don't. Because basically I'm retired now. I can do whatever I like.
Exactly.
Whatever who likes.
Oh, well, same with Julie being retired too. We can do whatever we like.
Yeah.
Whatever Julie likes, isn't it? You got to get it right.
Actually, in June, I'm going to be up in Traverse City, Michigan, which is right about there.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be running the meeting out of there.
Oh,
It's my mother-in-law's 89th birthday.
oh.
And she's not doing too well. Dementia's setting in pretty bad. And my
that's
wife's
not
up there with her right now. And, you know, she's got a apartment reserved for her in a memory care unit. And we're thinking it may happen before the end of the year.
Yeah.
The night timers is setting in real bad. Now, my poor wife says she hasn't had a minute's sleep since she's been up there because her mom's up all night long.
Yeah. No, my mother's 91 and still got all her faculties, and I think she's fitter than I am, actually.
God bless her. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. That is great. They had a thing in the news today about we have here in Michigan a police officer who's 95 years old. He never retired.
Yeah. Oh, good on him.
Yeah. He probably doesn't chase the criminals down. He just shoots them.
Yeah. I'm going to get into horrible trouble here saying this, but isn't that the case with all you American police?
That's the image that's being portrayed by the media, but they're good guys. Yeah. They are good guys. I have a lot of respect for them.
Yeah, same here. I wouldn't like their job, that's for sure.
No, they don't get paid enough for that. If they got paid $300,000 a year, I don't think it'd be enough for their job.
Nah.
It's we've got the big trial going on right now with the one that is charged with killing George Floyd, and
yeah.
that's a daily thing in the media here, and it's sad because it just makes all of them look bad. And,
Well, that's right, and
and the media portrays that too. The media makes that out to be that way, and that's unfortunate.
Well, the media thrives on fake shit, don't they? And exploiting people. So
exactly, that's how they get their ratings, and their ratings is how they get their money. Yeah,
and they never let the facts get in the way of a story.
Nope. I don't know if you guys remember who William F. Buckley was. He was very famous in the 70s. He was a political a professor of politics and stuff like that. And I thought he was a pompous asshole most of the time. When you hear him talk, he was a pompous asshole. But he said something that stuck with me, and I was a teenager when I heard him say it. He said, if you want to know what's going on in the world, don't watch the news on TV. Don't listen to the news on the radio. Read it in the newspaper, and only believe about a fourth of what you read.
Exactly.
And that was way back in the 70s.
G'day, Wayne.
Hello, Wayne.
Good evening. Good morning.
There he is.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Good morning for you.
How are you all doing?
Good, thank you.
It is. It's 20 to 3 in the morning at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. I'm here in Michigan. It's 15 to 10.
Oh, nice.
This is payback for me having to get up at 4:45 the other morning.
Exactly, Robbo, exactly. I was having a chat earlier and I thought, I'll stay up a wee while, see what's happening.
No worries.
Hi, Sid. How's it going?
You in the shop, Sid, today, or are you at home?
no, his wife's busting his balls today.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. He's got holidays soon, so I would assume he's getting ready for those.
Right. Like I was doing this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I filled the water tank up too this time, Joe.
Oh, did you? Whoa.
Yeah.
I got to sit down. You got a nice pair of glasses to wear too,
Yeah.
and a reversible jumper.
Yeah, I don't know where that is.
Oh,
It's in the workshop somewhere. I think I might have sold it.
I thought so. On your sharpening demo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah, I auctioned it off.
Hey, Billy.
Sid's in the shop. He'll duck in shortly, he said.
Whack, whack.
Oh, Robbo, I was telling Jay before you joined us, I got the spindle finished for my drum sander.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Got the sandpaper on it, so I expect the next couple of days I'll have the whole unit finished and tested out.
Very good. You're putting an adjustable table under it, I take it, are you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep, it'll adjust up and down. Then
What
I'm going to mount it.
Sorry, what size did you make the spindle?
13 inches long, 3 1/4 inches in diameter.
Yeah, the diameter is an important part. If you get them too small, they don't work properly.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people turning like 1.5 and 2 inch diameters, and it just doesn't make sense.
No. Just to fill Wayne in, Jeff is making a drum sander, basically to fit on his lathe so as he can sand things off. And
Right. I don't know if you've heard of him, Jeff, but if you go across and watch John Clothier, he's a UK guy. Does a bit of turn, does some other stuff, but he did a drum sander, an adjustable drum sander for his lathe as well.
Did he do a YouTube video on it?
He did do a YouTube video on it. Yes.
I'll bet you I saw it. Matter of fact, it might have been one of the better ones that I saw because he went into great
right.
detail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and there was a lot of crap videos out there. There was people that they shouldn't be alive, considering the stuff that they're doing. But John sounds familiar, so that's why I'm wondering if that's probably the one I saw. And I pretty much based this after his design.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and what I did is I mounted it in reverse on my lathe so that all the dust will go into my dust collector.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, as I said yesterday or the day before, whenever it was, you need dust extraction on them because they produce massive amount of dust.
Yeah. Yep.
G'day, Sid.
Yeah, Robbo, Wayne, Jeff, Jay.
Hi,
Hello,
Sid.
Sid. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Bit chilly here today, but haven't seen anyone yet.
Where are you at? Where are you at, Sid?
I'm in our community store.
I know, but where? I'm in Michigan.
Oh, no, I'm halfway between Robbo and Jay.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Well, she's probably closer to Jay, but near enough. So if you follow the coast round from Robbo's place to Jay's place, you go past my house.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
I'm just a bit further to the left.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Just a fraction. and I can't swim that far.
Thank you, copper.
In fact, you live just a few hundred miles, I think, south of where my ancestors came from. Actually, Wayne. They were all Glaswegians.
Oh, it's around about 70 miles south.
Oh yeah.
Because that's where my wife's from. My wife is from Glasgow.
You got to remember, Robbo, that miles in England are shorter than miles in Australia because it's a smaller country.
Well, this is right.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. And as I said, somebody was having a go at our convict reputation a little while ago, and I said, look, we have no qualms about it. We were export quality.
Well, look what you did for yourself. I mean, gee.
Yeah.
Do you want any
So
more?
blank from Jay.
Sorry, Wayne, what was that?
I'm saying, do you want any more?
No, we got enough. We got enough out there now, I tell you. And some of them aren't export quality, I tell you.
Well, you heard the latest one. They've been deporting a few Kiwis that have come out of the prison system. They're deporting them when they leave.
Yeah.
And the side note to that is it's raising the IQ of both countries.
We'll get into trouble if we're not careful.
Yeah.
We'll get into trouble if we are careful.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Nothing unusual there then.
No,
I was talking to the person I got those blanks off, Jay, and the A on the oak and the A on the ash is American, not Australian.
There you go.
I thought it was Australian oak because it just had A, so I just assumed Australian. But
No, we don't have it.
Makes an ass out of you and me.
Yeah, we don't have an oak out here as such. Like there's some that are called oak, but
yeah, that's what I thought we were talking about, like the Tassie oak and the Victorian ash and that sort of thing, which are not true oaks.
No, but the American oak has virtually the same medullary rays and everything as what the English oak has. I love turning English oak.
So do I.
Shirley picked me up a couple of bits of English oak from a salvage place in Adelaide last time she was up there, along with that big chunk of jarrah.
Yeah. cuts nicely. It just holds an edge like for spindle work like nothing else. And they look good when they're finished.
So have you ever turned to cork oak?
No, I can't say that I have.
That's a bit unusual. Cork oak is called cork oak because of the bark. The bark is what they make corks out of.
Right.
Oh,
I've seen photos of the trees. I think Portugal has a lot of them, don't they?
Yeah, Portugal. Yeah, Portugal around that area, Mediterranean areas have a hell of a lot of cork oaks. Yes,
Yeah.
and that's predominantly that's where it comes from. Yeah.
And no, oh well, wood turners are like everybody else. They always think that the grass is greener on the other side of the hill. Like there wouldn't be an Australian wood turner, I think, that couldn't say, "Oh man, I'd love to turn some of your mesquite in America, or I'd love to turn some of your sycamore from over there." My opinion is we're some of the best timber in the world, and all the English they want red gum burls and stuff, and Americans are the same.
Yeah, you're totally right there, Robo. I mean, everybody over here that wants to get some sort of gum to turn, because it's absolutely fantastic to turn. It finishes really, really well. You can get a very high gloss if you want a high gloss.
Yeah.
And
it's
the thing
beautiful.
it is so bloody expensive over here. I mean, like Robbo knows, I've been turning for a lot of years, the same as Robbo has. And when I first started turning some of the Australian burrs, we used to get it, as we call it, cheap as chips over here. It's not cheap as chips anymore.
No, that's well, it's the same with our imported timbers like Paducah and all of that sort of thing. They've just gone through the roof in the last 3 or 4 years, actually.
Yeah. Well, it's same here for, we call them exotics. They've just gone through the roof. And I got a couple mills that I deal with that are pretty reasonable, but even they're saying they can't control the cost. They're getting hit with it too. And
G'day, Tim or Terry? I can never remember which one.
I don't think that's Terry. TFT. That's not TGT, obviously, because it's TFT.
Looks like I might have a customer or two coming in, so I'll just go on mute for a while.
Okay, Sid. And turn the volume down just in case we insult them. Right. Sorry, I do apologise, Tim. I do get the two of you mixed up because you're so close with your name.
Yes, I am, Tim. I'm up. No, am I up early or am I up late?
Depends on which end of the day you started at.
yeah.
Does it really matter? I'm up.
Yeah. Yeah, as Terry says, Tim, I don't care what I get called as long as I get acknowledged. So you got all your lives that have been picked out for you, Wayne, and organised, have you? Off centre stem glass, one goblet or whatever. And
Yeah, Fridays is going to be the off-centre wine goblet with a spiral stem and a captive ring, coloured. Jeez, in an hour. For fuck's sake. God. Mondays is easy. Monday I'm doing a bit of centrifugal painting. I don't know what I'm doing on Wednesday.
I'll let you keep you out of mischief.
Oh dear. I'm not even going to practice Fridays. I'm just going to go out there and do it.
I was going to ask you, you're the same as me. I actually rehearse to a certain extent what I'm going to be doing, because nothing worse than reaching for something and it's not there.
No, I'll get set up on Friday morning. I'll have a think about the stages of it over the next few days, but I'm not going to do a practice piece. I'll just stick a piece of wood on the lathe on Friday and do it.
Yeah, ad-lib it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the best way to go.
Well, to tell you the truth, Jeff, that's usually how my lives go. I don't tend to plan them.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got guys in the club that are very meticulous, and when they go down their shop, they have very specific plans. You know, what they're going to do, what they're going to turn and everything. The closest I come to that is I know I've got a couple bowls downstairs I got to finish. That's it. When I get to them, I'll get to them. You know, I've got a vase I got to finish. It's been drying for about 4 months now, and so I may work on that tomorrow. I don't know.
Well, I'm in the other way. Like, normally I've got the whiteboard's loaded up with work, and I know exactly what I'm going to be doing just about at a given time, unfortunately, sometimes.
Well, yeah, you have to do that, though. It's a business.
Yeah.
Yep.
Usually when I'm doing a live, I'll have some sort of idea. Mark usually comes into EUM. He usually drops in about 12:30, because I do a live on a Monday lunchtime UK time, a Friday lunchtime UK time, and a Wednesday evening about 8 o'clock UK time. And Mark will come into EUM and he says, "Well, what we're doing today then?" And I have no bloody idea. This is 12:30, and I'm starting to turn at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I do have a project later this week. I'm going to do some production work. And Robbo, you got to plug your ears, but I'm making a bunch of pens. But yeah, the 4-letter word. I have a contractor who's been working on my house, and he wants a whole bunch of them to give to customers that hire them for the big stuff. And I says, okay, I'll start working on them.
Excellent. The thing is, Robbo, he's probably going to be using carbides as well.
Oh, jeez.
You know what? I've got carbides. I do not like them on pens. I got a Robert Sorby micro spindle gouge. It's got the little red handle on it that you're going to interchange the tips on. And it's got a little spindle gouge on it that's about 3/8 of an inch, and it's just perfect. Just absolutely perfect. And that's what I make my pens with.
No, look, to each their own. That's
the handle. Yeah. And I've got that head. I've had that head for 9 years now, and I lost it right after I got it, and I just found it finally about 2 months ago. I was cleaning up my shop and everything, and it was sitting right out in the open. I don't know why I couldn't find it all those years. It's just sitting right out in the open. But then, I look back on it though. I think I mentioned before, I'm an old magician. I used to tour with a magic act, and the best way to hide anything is right out in the open.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Harry Blackstone Jr. was a very good friend of mine, and he used to close his show up with a big circus act, and he would make an elephant appear on stage. It was the most amazing illusion I ever saw in my life, and I got to open up for him one night here in Detroit, and so I got to be backstage for it, and he just walked the elephant out on stage. Nobody saw it. It was amazing, just absolutely amazing. I was more amazed by that than I was by the illusion itself. And
Well-
he says, yeah, he says, keep their eyes busy and you can do anything. He says, I could have
That's-
flown a jet in here if I wanted to.
Maybe that's where that's maybe what the saying, the elephant in the room, came from.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I took a friend of mine many years ago. He's an old Vietnam veteran, and he's one of the best audiences to have for a magician because he's like a 12-year-old kid. He's just amazed at all of it. And I took him to see David Copperfield. And at the time, David Copperfield was doing the illusion where he would get on his Harley and it would rise up in the air on a platform, and there'd be a flash of fire, and the platform would fall apart, and him and the Harley are gone. And then all of a sudden, he would appear in the audience on the Harley with it running. Great illusion. And we got our seats, and I'm looking down at one row down from us, and I'm looking over there, and there's a little platform there. And I said, Bob, when he disappears from the stage on his Harley, don't look at the half-naked women flashing the lights on the audience. I said, because if you do, you're going to miss the fact that he's going to appear on that platform. And Bob, no, that doesn't make any sense. He goes, he's going to disappear in midair. And I go, yep. And that's exactly what he did. And then the half-naked girls come out, and they're flashing lights on the audience, and Bob is watching them in total mesmerizing. And all of a sudden, the box opens up, and here comes David Copperfield up on the motorcycle, revving and everything, and Bob is just losing his mind. He's just absolutely losing his mind. And here's the best part about it is, David walked right by us in the aisle. He had a long blonde wig on and an overcoat, and he walked by and said, excuse me, and walked right by us, took off the wig and coat, and got into the box on the motorcycle. Bob never saw any of it. Bob even said, sorry, I didn't mean to get in your way.
No, I must admit, I like those things. But just getting back to the pen turning thing, I've got a mate that called Nathan. Now, all he turns is pens and bottle stoppers. But he used to be an IT bloke that travelled the world. He was headhunted all over the world setting up systems and that. And he's got a lot of contacts in corporate world. The pens that he turns are $500 each with a minimum order of 10. And he supplies for corporate gifts and things like that. He turns under a stairwell, believe it or not. He's got a little short bed lathe and a bandsaw and a grinder, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell Dark about this recording because Robbo wanted to go back to talking about pens. Dark would love that.
Watch
That's
out,
all
he
right.
might be listening in somewhere.
He might be too. But no. Look, as I said, to each their own. I've never turned a pen. I have no desire to turn a pen. But
I have over the years, I have turned lots and lots and lots and lots of pens, and I only ever use the skew to turn a pen. That's all I use. That's all you need to use is a skew chisel to turn a pen.
I'm one of those people. I'm trying to get comfortable with the skew. I don't know why it scares me, but it still does. And I've done some pens with the skew. And it's very slow. I take my time and go very slow with it. And that's one of my top 3 goals in turning this year is get comfortable with the skew, and a couple other things like that. And but yeah, I started out with pens, just turning pens. That's how I got into turning, and they are still my number 1 seller, and bowls being number 2. So pens pay for the hobby. And I've had a couple custom orders from people who collect fountain pens. Boy, those people are about as anal as you get. They want the nib from Schmidt in Germany. They want the pump from so-and-so in Norway. And they want a certain type of wood. I remember a guy came to me. He wanted a fountain pen for his his pastor at his church. His pastor was celebrating 60 years at their church, and he wanted a really nice fountain pen. And he started giving me the order. I said, "You realize this fountain pen is going to be close to $1,000?" And he goes, "Yeah." They don't blink at it.
No,
it's nothing to them.
Jeez.
The
And so
dearest,
after I sold it to him, I went, "Damn, I should have charged 2."
the dearest pen that I've seen Nathan make was in excess of $5,000. It was a special order for somebody, but it had all the top mechanisms, and it was a fountain pen, and it was gold, like it had the gold rings and everything, and it was a magnificent looking pen out of red gum.
Yeah. Well, one of the things with this pen is he wanted Bethlehem olive wood, but it had to be the real Bethlehem olive wood from those trees.
Yeah.
And so I called a couple different sources on it, and I said, I need to know who to contact. And because there's like one guy in Israel you contact. And I started in Cameroon, Africa. And I talked to a guy there, and he sent me to a guy in New Zealand who sent me to a guy in Italy. And I finally got to the guy in Israel. And he sent me one piece.
They're all passing the buck.
Right.
Yeah.
But was the guy in Italy called Yuval?
No.
Okay.
God, this was many years ago. I'm drawing a complete blank on his name, and it wasn't a name that I would expect to be Italian either. But that's one of the things with the stuff that I do when I do custom orders. I'm talking to people all over the world, which is kind of cool. Because I've mentioned this before when Robbo and the gang first started joining our meetings and everything. I said, if you would have told me in the 70s when I was a teenager that one day I'd be sitting at a PC talking to people all over the world live, I would have laughed in your face. And I was studying computers at the time, and pens was one of the first things that got me talking to people in other parts of the world. I mean, it's just been absolutely amazing. And,
Tim says, I used to struggle with the skew until I got and used the 6mm beading tool. Made the bigger skew make more sense to me. Yeah, to a certain extent it does.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can do it with a 6mm beading tool, you can do it with a skew.
Yeah, I would think it'd be the same thing. Yeah.
It's not. It's nearly,
entirely,
but not quite.
Yeah. Because I watched a person use a Badan to make a pen, and he used it like a skew, or he kept it at an angle and just came straight across. And
I have a theory on the Badan, how it came into being.
Yeah.
The Badan is the French skew. Now, I'd say that when the French started turning, they looked at the Poms, whom they don't like, and said, well, we can't use the skew like that. No, we've got to come up with our own. So they came up with a single edge bevel instead. Just to be different.
The French wouldn't do that, would they?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Just to be awkward.
Yeah, I told Jean-Paul. I said that to Jean-Paul Escalon one day when he was out there, and he just laughed like hell. He said, I thought, yeah, that's pretty good.
So,
right.
Yeah, but the skew was one of my goals this year. The skew is one of my goals. And
right. Tim has just said the lathe knives look pretty wild. That's the Russian lathe knives?
Yeah. We had one of the guys in our club a couple years ago worked out a club order and got 15 of them. And I unfortunately wasn't in a financial position to get one. But what he does with them is just absolutely amazing.
Right. I actually bought one. There was a guy in the UK started making them, and in fact, I didn't buy one. There was a guy in the UK started making them, and I said, send me one and I'll do a review on it and everything. And to tell you the truth, I prefer the skew.
Same
Really?
here. Like
I
I've tried.
really do.
I've tried the lathe knife, and what you've got to remember is that the Russians and the Northern Europeans are using the lathe knife on wet timber that's
Mhm.
perfectly straight grained, and they've adapted their use to them. Well,
Yeah.
it's the same as everything, but I prefer the skew over the lathe knife as well. I've got one here. I made one myself actually, just because one of my clients asked me about it.
Well, the factory where they make those nesting dolls, they're all made with a
Oh,
lathe
yeah.
knife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
yes,
like-
they are. Yeah.
Geez, I tell
And
you
they
what,
make them look so easy.
those women know how to use them too. In
Yes,
fact,
they do.
Oh,
I wouldn't
definitely.
I wouldn't like to meet some of those women in a. I wouldn't like to meet some of those women in a dark alley in a bad mood. I tell you.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's the same as the hook tools that they used to clean out the insides.
Yeah.
The hook tool on end grain is a brilliant tool. The same as the ring tool on end grain. It's an absolutely brilliant tool as long as you know how to use it and use it right.
Yeah.
No, we had I've forgotten his name. He was visiting us here one day, and he had the hook tool with us from Italy, and I tried using it, and man, I made a complete and utter fool of myself.
There's a bit of a learning
Right,
curve with it.
I don't have a hook tool, but I have got a ring tool for end grain, and I love using the ring tool. It's brilliant on end grain.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
I got
guys
the-
using them. I've never tried it myself. I did try the hook tool. Matter of fact, last meeting we gave a hook tool away
Ooh,
for our tool raffle.
right.
Yeah,
I can do that,
it was a Hoslick hook tool.
but I don't have time. The trick with getting them out is a heap.
Sid, can you mute, please? Sid, can you mute, please? Type. No, I forget his name. D'Italia or something. He's a nice bloke from Switzerland, and we were having a club demonstration here, and I invited him down because he was in Australia, and he came down, him and his wife. Nice bloke, and he had his hook tools with him, and I tried it, and man, fortunately I don't go red when I get embarrassed, but boy, the temperature rose when I started mucking it up, I tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's pretty bad when you embarrass yourself in front of yourself, but when you got people around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The other on that note too, I find I cannot use miniature tools, funnily enough. They're just too small for me. Like I can do miniature work with my bigger tools, but I can't. I've got a set of miniature gouges and skew chisels here, and I can't use them. They're just too small for me.
Yeah. It has to sharpen too. You know.
What are you on about, Joey?
Sign language.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's what you get used to, I think.
I was just saying to Amber last night that I need to get small versions of all my tools that I've got.
Why?
Because I want them, all right? You got it?
Yeah, well, that's the difference. It's a difference between want and need.
Yeah, exactly. We have a guy here at our woodcraft store that teaches turning, and he always says you can turn big things with you can turn small things with big tools, but you can't turn big things with small tools.
No, that's right.
Yeah, and I didn't understand that at first until I started fiddling around with some of my smaller tools, and he's right. You can do it. It's just a hell of a lot more work.
Oh.
You know, and I thought that was brilliant after I experienced that.
Like I'd love to really attack a 4-meter log with a 6mm gouge.
Yeah. Just make a lot of lines.
Might as well sharpen the edge of the tool rest and just shove it into it.
That's right. Oh, can you see my finger?
Yeah.
I was down in the shop today and I was joking with my wife. I said, here, I'm working on a machine that can kill me if I'm not careful. And what do? I leave the shop and I shut my finger in the door. I don't know how they... And, I'm standing down there looking at this going, how did I do that? It doesn't make sense because my door pulls in rather than, it doesn't make sense. But there it is. Hurts like the devil.
Well, I have a saying that every tool in my workshop, from the lowly pencil to the biggest machine, terrifies the hell out of me, so they get a great deal of respect.
Yeah.
Now I've got to start watching the door by the sound of it.
I've got an old Craftsman table saw that I absolutely love. It was made in '86 here in America, and all cast iron. And it's a great saw. I spent hours tuning it up and everything. It's a contractor saw. And one of the problems I have with it is it's too high. If you look at a lot of the table saws now, they set down lower.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually, when I'm pushing something through, I'm like leaning right over that blade. And that's scary. So I'm going to take the 4 legs off and I'm going to build a box platform for it and set it down lower. Yeah. And that way I can keep my dust collection.
Yeah, either that or you need a longer push stick.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's that's using the push stick too, but it's just it sets up just above my belt, and it doesn't seem like that much. But boy, that few inches from what they're doing now is a big difference.
Either that or wear platform shoes, one or the other.
Yeah. Well, if it was the 70s, I would do that. I had platform shoes in the 70s.
Put your high heels on, Jeff.
Yeah. Oh, Lordy.
Yeah, I remember them well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I never wore them.
Platform shoes, bell bottoms, elephant bells.
Oh, yes.
That was huge. Yep.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the house we're in now, we moved in 2007. The house we were in before that, we were in it for 18 years. And we joked around about we had a long, narrow attic with an entranceway at one end. So the joke was the farther we went back in the attic, the farther back in years we went. Yeah. And I found a box way in the back that said Jeff 1977, and it was my grandmother's writing. And so I pulled that out and I opened it up, and it's clothes from when I was a teenager, and it was elephant bell bottoms and stuff like that. And I gave them all to Salvation Army, and they're in style now.
Yeah, that's right.
Not that I would wear them, but
but you could have made a fortune.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was wild. Yeah, I have a picture somewhere of prom I went to when I was 18, and I had maroon platform shoes on, and I had a tuxedo that had a Hawaiian design on it. It was the ugliest thing. Oh my God. The only saving grace of that picture was I was with one of the most beautiful women in the world. So she detracts from, nobody's looking at me in that picture.
Talk about illusion, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Right, guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go to bed. It's 3:20.
No worries, Wayne. Thanks
for coming in. It's 10 here, and I'm doing the same thing. So, Wayne, it was a pleasure meeting you.
And you, Jeff, and you.
Okay.
Hope to see you soon.
Wayne.
Okay.
No problem, Jay. Anytime.
And guys, I'm going to sign off too.
All right. See you later, Jeff.
Thanks for coming in, Jeff. Take it easy.
I will try to pop in Wednesday night like I normally do.
Yeah, I'll see you. I'll see you next week when I join the meeting because I'm going to be away for a week. So.
Right. So safe travels, my friend.
Enjoy the bachelor pad while you got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, she's gone for an extra 2 days too.
Tim's off as well. Good night, Tim.
All right, see you later, Tim.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good
See you,
night.
Jeff.
Good night.
So that hard wax that you got, Sid. What is that, like a finish or something?
Yes.
Oh.
Still got customers in the shop, have you seen?
Yeah. Go on, then let us hear them. Put us on speaker.
I should put up crypt cards so I can just show them to you, know, rather than having the talk.
Mm.
So that was American oak, that bowl, was it, Jay?
Yeah, apparently.
It should come up fantastic.
It has come up very nice.
Yeah.
And I was going to do some burning on it, but I don't think I will now.
No.
I was going to do it where the ring failed. Oh, no, it's not freaking working.
Sid's put in food safe wax oil blend. Should be $2 a tin, but when I looked at the dock at the box of six, the box of 6 was $2.
Yeah.
Of course, Sid'll be charging you $2 a tin, so don't worry about it.
That's still worth it as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you get it like that sometimes. Chris says that some local oak I turn smells like puke or poop. And yeah, it depends a lot on where they're grown, funnily enough.
That's some odd fertilizer they've been putting on those plants.
I must admit, oak does have a smell all its own. Something like a horse barn, he said.
Stable
Yes,
yard.
I'm afraid that's an acquired taste as well, working in stables.
So I've made a rather weird shaped bowl, Sid. Because it was meant to have a captured ring in that spot, but it kind of fell off.
Yeah, going that big, I suppose that's a fair chance.
I'm working with it, half of it cross grain as well, doesn't help,
Yeah.
or end grain.
See, look how close I got.
You got close, yeah. Bloody oath.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Yeah, so I went in and they had the stacks of that hard wax oil sitting there, so I grabbed a couple of boxes, and the bloke standing there said, "Oh, did you get the same or have you got different?" I didn't realise they were all different. So there's a brown, and there's a clear, and there's a golden teak. So I grabbed a box of each. So I grabbed the 3 boxes because I figured even if it goes off, I'm gonna, I can use a lot of it you can use it even to steal the end probably if you had to.
Yep.
And so anyway, when I went back out to the car and looked at my docket, I've got 3 boxes of this oil at $2 each.
Nice. Very good score. Yeah,
So-
the country Bunnings shit all over the suburban.
No, well, it's the same in the city ones at the moment, apparently.
What?
The $6 a box.
I can't find it at the. I've got 3 Bunnings close to me. I've been to all of them in the last couple of weeks, and I don't find it anywhere. And then when I
Right.
ask about it, they're like, "Oh,
Yeah, so I've got so I'll put a box together with 2 tins of each colour in it for you.
cheers." Have you tried them out yet?
Yeah, I've tried the clear one.
Yeah.
I've got I'm just trying to think whether it's an ash or an oak. Little platter thing I've done with the clear.
Yep.
It might even be one. I reckon it might work a little bit better if it's just put on with a little bit of terps with it,
Oh yeah.
just to pull it in a bit.
Yep.
Because the tin actually has one of those plastic pull-out spouts in it, and I reckon what I'll do is I'll tip it into a jar so I can brush it on, get a brush into it to brush it on. I've been putting it on with a rag, and it doesn't go on real even.
Is it hard in the tin, or does it just dry hard when it's put on stuff?
No, it dries hard when it's put on. It's like it's probably a little bit thicker than linseed oil.
Oh, okay. I'm glad I know that, because now I know to be careful when I open the tin. He's
Oh,
giving me
it's
this
got
hard
a spout on
whack in
it
the
to
tin.
pull it out.
Open it up.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
it's got a spout on it, so you can tell it's got a pour.
Yeah, Chris, that's the problem with some pellets. You don't know what they've had sitting on them. Chris, there's a lot of our pellets are made from junk oak. So I've made bowls from pellets, and they can smell pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm wary of the pallets from the stock and station agent.
Yeah, well, you never know what they've had on them.
But the ones I like to get, I get them from the tractor dealers or the furniture dealers or the electricians or the plumbers.
Tractor dealers would be good because they'd be coming in from overseas.
Yeah, I've got a couple of big. I'm not sure what they are. I've got to cut one up and see what it looks like. It could be spruce or fir or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's made out of. I've got 3 of them now. They're 8x4s and 6x4s and sort of 4x3s timbers, and it's what the big mower conditioners are bolted onto before they put the wheels on to freight them over. They stand them up on end on these wooden frames. So yeah. So I've got to cut one of them up and see what it looks like. So I reckon they might turn some nice stuff too. And it's all heat treated timber. And having machinery on it hasn't had anything. I mean, the worst thing you're going to get leaking on anything out of a tractor dealer is going to be oil.
Yeah, no, we've got a tractor place just down the road from us, and I used to get some of their pellets occasionally. From
the big boxes, the
Sweden.
front end loaders come in, they're good.
I'm gonna nick off inside for 10 minutes. All right, I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go in a minute too.
Oh, I might as well just end the bloody live then.
No, well, I've got to go and have lunch, so
Yeah, me too.
or I'll be in doo-doo. All right, so I'm going to call it quits for the day. See you later. See you all next week, unless I get on somewhere.
Yep, see you later.
Have a good time, all.
Nice.
Bye.
See you,
Have
Robert.
fun. Bye. All right, I'm gonna knock it on the head then.
Right, mate. No, yeah, so we're coming up for the 27th through to the end of the week after Anzac Day. So that's when school goes back. We're shutting the shop for a week, and we're coming up for 3 or 4 days. So sometime through that period, I'll catch up with you.
Okay then.
All right. See you, mate.
Cool. All right, thanks for coming in. Bye.